Hello internet friends, my name is Catherine and I'm the human behind Creation with Squisher. And today is Vlogmas day 5. This is quite exciting. I don't know, I don't understand how we're already there. So today we're going to do a color inspired by eggnogs. So I personally don't drink eggnog, but I know that is a staple in a lot of families and traditions and stuff like that. So I wanted to highlight that. It's a very wintry drink, so that's what we're working with. And for small business slash present to offer a fiber friend in your life, I'm going to toot my own horn here because I have those mugs that I've designed. It's the stab it, strangle it, scuba guts out, throw it off a cliff pun that we all kind of enjoy when we're learning to knit. So it is in my shop. It's print to order, so you can just order it and it's going to be delivered directly to your door. And I kind of really like it. I know I use it as like a catch-all, but I have so many mugs, but I really like it. So, and it matches my computer, so let's get into today's episode. Okay, so continuing with the series of making all my winter collection, we are going to be working on eggnog. So eggnog is a drink. I don't drink it personally. Apparently you can have it spiked with alcohol if you want to. Personally, just the thought of drinking eggs, it's not my favorite thought. So if you like it, good for you. I personally prefer mocha over that. So we're going to be working this. So the first thing I'm going to do is do my stock solution. What is the stock solution? It is the liquid form for this of our dry powder. So because this is a very fine particle thing, we need to be wearing a respirator because we don't want to breathe those. So it doesn't have to be this specific brand. Oops, I'm so sorry. But it is, you need to make sure that it's going to catch the fine particle and you won't be breathing. So without further ado, I'm going to wear this because we only have one pair of lungs, so please protect them. Okay, let's do this. And always make sure that your scale is at 0 before doing anything. Because we want to be precise. Perfect. There we go. Perfect. So now that the dry powder is no longer in a dry powder form, I can remove my respirator, which is fantastic. So it's really dangerous when it's in dry powder form, but once it's dissolved in the yarn or anything, you're good. So it's really just breathing it that is a problem. So let's get into the pen now. Okay. So usually I go with a lower immersion mode, but for this one, I need it to be slightly higher. So I've added about 8 cups of tap water with my citric acid. So for citric acid wise, it's usually 1 tablespoon per pound of yarn, so 454 grams of yarn. And it's a very different technique than what I usually do when it comes to yarn dyeing. As you can see, uh, I remember that this was 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago now. So my techniques have changed quite a bit since then. But we're still going to have a very pretty yarn. I'm still very pretty of those colors. So I would probably update it if I were to think about it. I would probably change it a little bit. It's still very nice, still very pretty. I'm just not sure if I like the idea of working it that way. Because I was reading my recipe and I was like, am I sure about this? Because the way that I'm doing it, it's going to be very pretty, but I can already see that where there is the connection and the more resistance, the color is darker. It's fine. So let's turn this on. Okay, I already did turn it on. Okay, that's good. So I'm just going to let it work for about 10 minutes before I'm going to do the twisting and the speckling of the yarn. So see you in about 10 minutes. Okay. Okay, let's do this. This. Okay. It does really cute variegation on the yarn. I like it. It's pretty. It's just not my current style. So this is definitely something to think about if I want to maybe rework the formula. But it's cute. We'll see once it's fully dried. Okay, I'm just gonna grab my respirator real quick so that we can do the speckling. Okay, let's do this. Okay. And remember, when you are speckling, you want to keep your fingers close together so that way you keep a good control over your speckling and the dry powder, because you want to make sure that that you don't have big clumps of dry powder falling at the same spot. Because if you are not doing this like this, with your fingers always touching, you have less control over your color and your yarn and the speckling process. So if you want to have a better control, keep your fingers together and think about it. So we're going to let this cook for 30 minutes now. And once it has cool, once it's done, we're going to let it cool down. So see you in about 30 minutes. And now let's wash off our eggnog. So I don't know if we're going to have any bleeding. We might have a tint. I think we'll be fine. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, so I'm going to let it soak a little bit, like 10 to 15 minutes, because when you're at home, usually that's what you're going to do with your finished object. You're going to let it soak in a soap wash, either soak or even eucalyptus. I personally really like eucalyptus because there is lanolin in it. If you're allergic to it, obviously do not use that. However, so it will reincorporate some lanolin into your yarn, and it's really good for the skin. So that's one of the reasons I like it so much. So yeah, so I'm going to let it soak for like 15 minutes, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to see if there's any bleeding. If you're afraid of bleeding, you can always use color catchers. Of course, the more saturated the color is, the higher the chances are for you to have some bleeding. So things to keep in mind. See you in 15. Okay, what do we have here? Woohoo! No bleeding. That is amazing. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to put this in the spin dryer to remove all the excess water. So it will help dry faster, and we're going to let it dry overnight, and I will see you tomorrow with the final result. And here's the final result for the eggnog colorway. So you can see here that the speckle of hot chocolate has broke a little bit. So we have some pink hue in here, which I think is perfect for this colorway to have this little hint of pink. And you can see that we have the beautiful tan that is like beige creamy color, just like the drink. So I was super excited when I first developed this color. I thought I was very proud of myself, and I thought I was super cool. Okay, I said it. So this is what we've done with this. For the speckling here, I don't know if you've noticed, but I was closer to the skein than I usually am, and that is because I wanted to actually see some of the speckle, which represent like either cinnamon or cocoa that you would sprinkle on top of your eggnog, because I've seen it. I don't necessarily drink the eggnog, but I've done my research and I know it's an important drink for a lot of people, so this is why I wanted to have it included in the lineup. So yeah, I hope you liked the color. I hope you liked the video. And if you did, please consider sharing, liking, and subscribing. And I will see you next one very soon. Bye!